Good day, engineers. So this will be the blender I'll be using to teach you how to coil armature and stator. What's wrong with this blender is it actually works. If I plug it, you can see it's working pretty fine. So it only has one problem. For you to see the problem, I will have to switch off the lights. So let's switch this off. So this is the problem. Can you see that? It is sparking aggressively.
So today I'm going to explain the connection of the rewinding of the armature. I've made a video about this before. The only issue was that the video is a bit confusing, though you still watch the video, because right now I'm already done recording the armature and stator. So I just want to make a video to clarify the connection of it. Okay, so without wasting time, let us begin. So in the armature, we have what known as the segments and the slots. So this segment is where the commutator is. These are the copper plates in the commutator. The armature that we record has 12 segments and 12 slots. So you see there are 12 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I also have 12 slots. These are the slots, these empty spaces right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So basically, when you are rewinding armature, what you are simply doing is that you are choosing a slot. Let's call this our chosen slot. Maybe we'll choose this slot. Then you are choosing a segment. So depending on whether you are going forward or backwards. So let's go forward for now. All you are doing is that if you choose this slot to be your first slot and you choose this segment to be your first segment, you will connect your coil to the segment and pass it through the slot. Depending on the number of slots you get, your pitch is just half of the total slots. The slot is 12, so therefore half of 12 is 6, so our pitch is 6. You take it 1 to 6, then you spin your coil. After you spin your coil, remember you start from here. This is your first. You start from here and you spin your coil into this place. So once you start from here, you end the next one. So once you end in the next one, you take your coil to the next slot, spin it 1 to 6 again, and end in the next one. So once you end the next one, you take your coil to the next slot, spin again, and end the next one. So once you reach it again, you take your slot to the next one. This is how you keep on going to the next one, end it to the next one. So it's very easy. If you start from here, it's the same thing. Start from here, take your coil, connect your wire here, spin it around, end here, spin it around, end here. So that's just easy. It's very easy series. So you are going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're not actually jumping. And also, there's no anti-clockwise. All your coils go clockwise. All coils go clockwise. You don't have clockwise and anti-clockwise, like your generator armature. This one, all coils go clockwise. You spin clockwise for all your coils. You don't spin anti-clockwise at all. The only thing is that the only difference that you might, like me, I don't wind forward. If I start from here and wind my 1 to 6, and once I start from this is not my next one. Actually, this is my next one. So I go backwards, and if you go backwards, even your slot will go backward. So therefore, if you start from here, your next one will be this one. Then your next one will be this one. Then your next one will be this one. Then your next one will be this one. So with your segments, so if you start from here, the next one will be this one. The next one will be this one. The next one will be this one. So you come, you spin your coil, you enter the next one, enter the next one. So yeah, spin your coil, enter the next one, enter the next one. Also yeah, spin your coil, go to the next one for yourself, and you spin your coil. So that's basically that's just it. So if you do it correctly, the segment you started from will also be the segment that you ended from, especially if you are doing star winding, that you don't split the coil to two, you just wind straight from starting to ending. Or like H winding, that you split the coil into two. For this one, where you start from, if you start winding, you're going to end your connection at the segment that you started from. So if you start from here, your wire will end here. Okay, so this is the easy part of it. Now, what is the tricky part of this armature? It's not really tricky, it's just something to put into consideration that when recording armature, you need to look at some things. The first thing you look at is the position of the brush and the position of the field coil. In most blender armature, the field coil and the brush are perpendicular to each other. What does this mean? This means that the field coils, let me just draw a rough sketch. The field coil, which is the stator coil is here, and the brushes are here. So therefore, they are perpendicular, like they're just crossing each other like this. Yeah, so if you know that the brushes and the field coil are perpendicular to each other, then you need to time where you will start. Let me say, the main tricky of armature is where you start from, not really the recording. Where you start from is the most important. So if you have a field coil, if you have a field coil and a brush that is perpendicular to each other, if that blender is going clockwise, and for the backward winding is up to you, that doesn't really mean anything. If you have a brush and the coil that is perpendicular to each other and is going clockwise, if you choose this to be your first slot, and let's call the segment that aligns with it the first segment. If it's going clockwise, you will not start from the first segment. You will start from the second segment. This is very important. This is going to decide whether your armature is going to spark or not spark. This will be your starting point, and this will be your starting point. The second segment of the slot will be your starting point. So therefore, you start from here, spin your coil, then you end at this next one, you come down here again, spin your coil, you end at this next one, you come down here. As you can see, all the coils start going that the same way. What about if you start straight down? Actually, you can't start straight down from here because most blenders are used like this. But if you start from here and go like this, your coil will spark. The field coil will overheat. So you can try to start from here or start from here, but I mostly start from the second slot because most blenders that use second slot works very well with it, but not all can use the first one. But if you use the first one by mistake, then no problem, you can use the first one. So what matters the most is actually the starting and the ending of your coil, which is the first two slots that you have to start from. Okay, why do I say this? If I'm using forward winding, remember I say if I choose this was my first as my first. Okay, let's just draw it for forward winding. Let's say this is our start. This is where we started from. So let me just mark it number 1, and this is the first segment, but this is not my starting. I won't connect my wire to this place. I will connect to the second segment right here. I will always call this number 1 also. So therefore I will take my wire from here, I will drag my wire down to this slot over here, My pitch is 6, so my coil size is 6 slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So therefore this slot over here, I'll come and spin it here. I'll spin my number of turns. If it's 100, 50, 20, you spin the turns. Let me just spin the turns over here. And after you're done spinning the turns, you will now end at the next slot. So you now take your wire from the next slot again. We'll score this 2. Then you now move to, this is where we started from, so therefore you now go to the next slot, move it into this place here, and you count 1 to 6. If you count to 6, you end in this place right here. Then you spin your coil and you end in number 3. Then this is number 2. So then it's empty. You come again, pick it from here, go to the 3rd slot. This is just you just keep going to the next slot, then end in number 4. From number 4, come to the next slot and you spin the pitch, and you just keep on going. Just remember that your pitch is 1 to 6. So therefore, as the air is going like this, the air will also be coming like this. So but focus more on this place though. Just make sure it's 1 to 6, and you always count your pitch backwards. Whether you're doing forward winding or backward windings, you always count your pitch to the back. So this is forward winding because we are going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, forward winding. What if we are going backwards? Let me just draw it again. So remember that I told you that if you chose this as your first slot and this is your first segment over here, you won't choose the segment that aligns with it. You will choose the next one. Now, if you are going backwards, what matters important is that these 2 segments from this slot has to be chosen. You might be tempted that, okay, if I'm going backwards, let me choose this segment, then spin my coil and end at this segment. And no, you will change the coil configuration if you do that. Instead, if you are going backwards, you won't choose the 2nd segment. Instead, you will choose the 3rd segment. The 3rd segment. You will choose this 3rd segment. This is what that aligns with this one right here. You will now move to this place. Then you spin your coil 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over there. Spin your coil 1 to 6, and you will end it because you are going backwards at this segment. Because right now this is your number 1 and this is your number 2. This is your number 1 because we are going backwards. So you maintain these 2. Remember, this was number 1, this was number 2, and this is number 1, this is number 2. So I will explain this further. So in backwards winding, you are going backwards. So therefore, from this number 2, you now spin your coil. This will not be on next slot because you are going backwards. This will not be on number 2. This will be number 3. This will be number 4. This will be number 5. This will be number 3, 4, 5 because you are going. Your number is counting backwards. So it's the same thing. Take your coil, spin to the next one. Count 1 to 6. Take your coil, spin to the next one. Count 1 to 6. Take your coil, spin to the next one. So that's all you are doing. What matters the most is just where you start from. Sometimes it's good if you are recording maybe a new fresh armature. It's always good to trace where did the coil end. Look at the slot and look at the segment and where the 2 meet. The distance between the coil, between the slot and the segment. This is what matters the most when recording armature. Because once you've chosen your first segment and your first coil, anything from there is straightforward. Just coil it till you reach the ending. Okay, so let's move to the next one. I want to talk about shape of the coil. Let's say forward winding. I take my coil from here, drag it down, brought it here like this, brought it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I spin my coil around, do my number of turns, then came, and then do the next one. Now look at the shape of this coil. Let's draw this shape outside right now. So this is what we have. Now something like this. So let's draw for backwards winding. So you know backwards winding, you start from the 3rd one over here. So I'll start from here. I'll take it to this place over here. Count my 1 to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 6 overlapping. I'm just trying to give an example here. Then the number of turns, and you end here. So now let me draw this shape out now. So this shape went something like this. Now let's take a look at these two coils over here. As you can see, these two coils are actually the same. This shape of the coil is for clockwise direction. Clockwise. So if the blender or the drill or anything that uses armature is going clockwise direction, this is the shape you want to attain. This is the second segment and the third segment, and this also is a second and third segment. So let's put it this way. So the difference between these two was that this one started from the second one and ended at the third one, but this one being backwards started from the third one and ended at the second one. But they are both the same. They are both the same size of coil. The full pitch is over here. This is 1 to 6. 1 to 6. That's this coils. The coil size is 1 to 6. So after 1 to 6, you see that this coil is outside the pitch. Outside the pitch. This is for clockwise direction. Now, why am I showing you this? Why do I show you the size of the coil, and why am I telling you that this is for clockwise direction? Remember that the commutator is at the bottom. The head of the armature is not where the commutator is. Commutator is actually the bottom. It's the other side that holds the plastic that spins the blades. Yeah, it's the up that spins the blade. So if you want to check clockwise, please don't put the commutator to the top. The commutator is at the bottom. Then check if the blender is going clockwise or anti-clockwise. If the blender is spinning clockwise, because one thing about spinning armature is that if your blender is spinning anti-clockwise, this diagram is going to change, which means that your first slot and your first segment is going to change. Now, so this is for clockwise direction. In clockwise direction, you always choose the second and third segment. That's what is most important. It is segment 2 and 3, or you can say second and third segments from the slot. So when going clockwise, make sure you choose the second and third segment of the slot. Either you start from second and end the third, or you start from third and end the second. And going forward one day and backwards one day. Don't go and start from second and go and end in first segment, the one that aligns directly with the slot. But no, I made the statement that if you choose it like that, it's still going to work. This is because 1 and 2 is also a configuration for clockwise direction. Some blenders use first and second segment, but most blenders use second and third segment. So if you use first and second segment as your calculation, maybe you chose exactly the one that aligns with you. I just took your wire straight down and spin 1 to 6. Then you now end in 2. It will work. Yeah, you are fine. It will work. But if you take it from here, I do straight that I came and ended it backwards here. Now you've gotten inside into the pitch, because if you go like let's call this 0, segment 0. If you now take it from here and come and end the wire over here inside the pitch, your armature will spark. Your field coil will overheat. Don't do that. Don't choose any segment inside the pitch. This is only the only time you choose segment inside the pitch is only if the brushes and the field coil are in the same line. They're not perpendicular to each other. If the coil, let's say the field coil, the field coil are the stator coils. You have only 2 windings there. So these are the field coils. You have your wire that connects opposites. You have one that connects to brush and whatever. Yeah, let's say that your brush is also in the same line with it. They are both in the same line. They're not crossing each other. Then you will not choose your pitch from inside. You now choose your segment from inside the pitch. What does this mean? So which means that if I'm going anti-clockwise, basically what is happening is that this you're only choosing for after the pitch. Okay, let me just draw it for you. If I'm going anti-clockwise, it will now look something like this. Now, what's the difference between this one and this one? This one the segment is here, but this one, the segment is here. For anti-clockwise, here will remain our first slot. Please, very important. Here will remain our first slot. But if you are choosing your segment, try to count the pitch backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know where the pitch ended. If you know where the pitch ended, they are going to pick your segment backwards from there, which means that let's say the second and third one of the pitch that is away of the pitch is very confusing. Okay, all I'm trying to say is that okay, let's imagine now. Okay, this is my pitch over here. This is the ending pitch here. This is the segment here. These two segments now will be the one I will choose. And let's count it. This is our first segment. This is our first segment over here for this coin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 6 and 7, yes. 6 and 7. So which means 6, 7, 6, 7. For anti-clockwise, you are going to be choosing segment 6 and 7. Segment 6 and 7. If you are going anti-clockwise, you still 1 to 6, 1 to 6 pitch. If you are going anti-clockwise, your segment will not be 2 and 3 anymore. That's the third, and that's I mean from your first slot. The third and second segment from your first slot is for clockwise. But for the anti-clockwise, from your first slot, the reason why I want to emphasize on this is because if you are going clockwise, don't go and look at here and start using here to be counting it. You still use here to count it. If this is your first slot, second one will be here, third one will be here, fourth one will be here, fifth one will be here. This one will be going forward to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Because no, this will be your first and second one. I'm saying 6 and 7 to know the distance between this and this. If the segment here is 1, the 6th segment will be the one behind the pitch, behind here. The 6th segment will be the one behind here, and this is for a 12th segment, 12 slot armature, because we also have a 24 segment, 12 slot armature. That is, the segment is double the number of the amount of slots here. I will still show you how that one is one. This is not that hard, but I will show you the diagram because I didn't do it and I didn't rewind it. But if I see it, maybe I might rewind it and create a video about it later in the future. What you are doing is that, remember, don't choose any segment from inside the pitch. Don't choose any segment from inside the pitch. This is the pitch 1 to 6. This is the coil pitch. This is the coil pitch. Here to here is the pitch. Every segment here should not be touched. Don't touch any segments here. Remember, this is only if you want to start your coin. Because once you already start your coining already, you will start your coining. This one is now become your first slot and your second slot, or it will be your. It may if you are going backwards or forward. If you are going backwards, it will be the first one, and the second one. So what you do is you just continue moving that way, And remember, this is your main slot, not this one. This is just the ending of your pitch. Don't say because your segment is close to this one, then this one is the starting of the pitch. No, this is starting of your pitch right here. You are going to the next one. It's from here you go to the next one. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about is we have two styles of winding. I've mentioned forward winding and backwards winding, which is very straightforward. Whether you are counting forward or you are counting backwards. If you are counting the segment forward, remember you also count the slot forwards too. If you are counting the segment backwards, remember you also count the slot backwards too. And remember, all your pitch goes backwards. Don't say because I'm counting backward, I'll not count from here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's wrong. You let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your coil will go from here and go backward. Whether you are going forward or backward, your pitch will go backwards. Yeah. So what I want to mention is that we have two styles of rewinding. There is one that you just rewind straight, start from here, keep rewinding until you end here. That is called star winding. We also have another type of winding. In this winding, instead of winding it straight, we are going to divide the coil into two. The reason why we divide coil into two is just to measure the amount of weight of the wires. The wires weight that is here is equal to the wire weight that is on the other side. This is mostly used just to maybe reduce vibration, especially if you're using drill. No drill, you have to focus the drill on the hole. So drill, you must use H winding for drills, because drills, if you use star winding, your hand will be shaking. But for blender, you don't need to use H winding for blender, though H winding is the most popularly used for blender, but you don't need to use H winding. But I'm going to teach you using H winding, though, but you don't need to use H winding. Okay, so right now I wanted to mention something that is very, very important. If you look at our former configurations, one thing you will notice is that, let me go back. One thing you will notice is that the segment is always aligning with the slot, but sometimes this is not always the case. There are some periods that the slot will not align with the segment. Instead, it will be in the middle of two segments. Yes, so there are some cases that the slot will be in the middle of two segments. If this is the case, then you will no more pick the second segment and the third segment, because it will be too far. It's going to be too far from the pitch of the coil. It's going to be too far. So instead, you're going to pick the first one and the second one. So if you are doing forward winding, start from the first one. The first one is coming sideways like this already. It's coming side like this. It's not coming straight down, because there's no slot straight. It's coming side like this. 1 to 6, spin around. They go the second one, or backwards winding. Start with the second one. So it's coming very far. So all I'm trying to say is that let me just draw it. Let's do backwards winding. Start from here, come here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From here, then end this is not over here. So this is backwards winding. So what I'm trying to say is that this is what matters in armature. The coil. If you choose this one, if you choose these two, it will be too far from this place. It will be too far. The armature is going to actually spark a lot if you choose from here. So if you find out that when you try to stretch your wire in between this place, it does not align. So just go to the middle, go to the right, choose the first one. Let the first one be the one you start from. The same thing for anti-clockwise. For anti-clockwise, as you can see, it does not align. So you now choose this is the 8th coil. The 8th coil. You know it was 6 or 7 before, but now it might be 7 and 8. It might be 7 and 8. This is 1, 2. For anti-clockwise, to be 7, 8. It will not be 6, 7 again. It's 7 and 8. So I just want to clarify this, just in case you meet these two scenarios. You know, I told you that there are some other armatures that you will see 24 segments and the same 12 slots. Okay, like for this one, we don't choose the second segment. We don't choose 1 and 2. Instead, we choose the 4th one. This slot aligns with this one. So in a straight line, this is our number 1. This is our number 1. Number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th one will be our number 1. This is our first segment. This is our first slot. So it's just trying to form the same shape with what was here. That's what it's trying to do right now. So that you can still choose this one too. It will still work very well. We choose number 3. You can choose number 3 or number 4. So the way this one works is that if you notice that the segment is double the number of the commutator, this is how you wind it. So let's imagine this is let's use forward winding, because backwards winding is from number 6. Let's use forward winding. So this is how this was being wound. You take a wire from here, just like you normally do with this one. Then you take it to your first slot. You count your pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The pitch is here. You spin it around. Then you take it to the fifth one. Now this is where things start getting a little bit different from this normal 12 slot 12 segment system. Let's imagine that in this 12 segment 12 slot armature, the amount of tons is 100 tons. If you are dealing with a 24 segment 12 slot armature, you are going to divide this 100 by 2, which will give us 50 tons, which means that we are going to spin just 50 tons inside here and end at the this is our first one, end at your second segment. Then immediately you end at your second segment, you're going to return back to the same slot and spin another 50 tons on top to now make it 100, and now end at the third segment. You know, these are 1, 2, 3. We've already chosen from this place 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you understand. Okay, let's continue. So now that we end here now, so from number 3 now is that we can go to the next one because we're doing forward winding. This next one here is our first one. This is the second one. So from number 3, we'll now come and spin it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's this. It's pitch 1 to 6. Spin it. They will now go and end in number 4. Then this is the fourth segment. They will now take from number 4 and go back to the same slot and spin it again. Remember, we spent 50 here and spin another 50 to make it 100 and go to the fifth one. So it is 2 segments to 1 slot, 2 segments to 1 slot, 2 segments to 1 slot, 2 segments to 1 slot. So enter the 5. So can I go to the third one, spin 50 tons over here and end the 6th one. From the 6th one, go back to the same third one here, spin another 50 tons and end in the 7th one. It's making sense right now, right? From the 7th one, can I enter the 4th one now? Enter here, spin 50, which is half of it. Go to the 8th one. From the 8th one, go to the same slot, spin another 50. Then go to the 9th one. So the 9th one, can I enter the 5th one here? 9th one, come here, spin. I'm using star winding, as you can see. It's not H winding. So let's try and finish it. So it will not end at this number 1. So the fourth one will come and spin around this 12, spin around the 12, and go through and end the first one over here. And that's all. This is the problem. Yeah, so this is the main problem of this coil, and we're going to rewind it. Right. So. So for the stator winding, is a very easy winding. So you just spin your coils. Once you spin your coils, both clockwise direction, just spin your coils, normal spinning of coils. So I'll just give you a number of times. So once you spin your coil. Maybe you spin your coil over here. Spin your coils over here. Let's say 350 tons. So let's say 350 tons. So let's say this is 350 tons. And then you spin your coil over here too. Spin your coil, and you'll see you're gonna spin the same 350 tons. Why? Sometimes if you want to add maybe speed 1, speed 2, You can spin it maybe 270 tons, like 270 tons, like I can't remember anymore. So I first spent 270 tons, and then I just brought a loop outside, just brought the two wires outside, and I continue spinning it again until it reached 350. So the whole thing is 350. The whole thing is 350 tons. 350. It's 350 tons. It's very simple. You do opposite. Opposite of the coil holds the brush. Opposite of the coil goes to light. That's all. Opposite goes to light, opposite goes to brush. So you will take your carbon brush. Let's say I pick this to be for my carbon brush. So this might be carbon brush. We have two carbon brush. So the opposite one, which is this wire, which is opposite of this one. We now hold the second carbon brush. Yes. So they are both holding the carbon brush. Why these two? They are both going to light. So since here has two speeds, this is speed 1 and this is speed 2. But if it's you don't need to put speed. Some blenders use resistors or diodes for their speed selection. So you just spin another 350 turns here, just bring the wire out and just take these two to light immediately. That's all. But if you spin halfway or use any technique to bring your speed selection out, it's the same thing, just opposite. This would be our neutral wire or common wire. Our neutral, like life and this would be the neutral. While this not be life 1 and life 2, because they will go to the speed selector. So they are both life. That's all. It's not hard. Just think your mind that they are opposites. Opposite goes to light, opposite goes to brush. That's all. That's how you connect your stator to the field windings. So opposite is brush, opposite goes to light. Okay guys, so today let us rewind an armature showing the full winding diagram. So 12 slots, 12 segments, just like our actual armature. So today we're going to use H winding, and we're also going to use backwards winding. So we'll be winding backwards, and we'll be dividing our coil into two. Let's begin. So let's pick a slot right now. Let's pick a slot. Oh yes, let me mention we are also going anti-clockwise. So we are not going clockwise. We are going anti-clockwise. So let me pick. So let me pick a slot. So which slot should we pick right now? You can pick any slot depending on your choice. So remember we're using H winding. So let me pick a slot. Let me pick this. Yeah, I pick this slot. So I pick this slot. So let's call this my. Let's say, remember, since we're using H winding, we're dividing our coil into two. Therefore, we're using two coils. So let's call the first coil A and the other coil B. So let's call this A1. 1 meaning that is our first slot. A1. This will be our A1. So now, if we are going anti-clockwise and we are using backwards winding, which segment are we going to start from? Just think about it. Is your answer the second segment? If your answer was the second segment over here, you are wrong. This is for the clockwise direction. Is it the third segment? Is the third segment? You are still wrong. That's for clockwise but backwards winding. Is it the sixth segment? Let's count it to the sixth side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's the sixth segment, well, you are almost there. It's just that if you choose the sixth segment, it means you are doing forward winding. But I am not doing forward winding, because if I do forward winding, if I choose the sixth segment, I'm going to end at the seventh segment. But no, that is going forward. I'm going backwards. So therefore, I will start from the seventh segment and end in the sixth segment. So therefore, we are choosing the seventh segment. So therefore, this is our 1. Because this is one that aligns with the slots. We call this 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So therefore, this will be our A1. This will be our A1. So A1 means that this is our first segment, and this is our first slot. Our first segment and our first slot. So let us spin the coil. Let's spin the coil. Let's just try and spin it. Let's just spin the coil. So we'll take our coil from here, spin it around the neck of the armature. Remember, don't bring out straight wires. If it's straight, spin around the neck. Even though it's not straight, then you can, maybe it's very far from the armature and it's already spinning halfway, then you don't need to spin it fully anymore. But if it's just coming straight, maybe it's there from here and it's coming straight down, no, it spins around the neck of the armature. Just to make sure it doesn't cut when it's on high speed. That's just the reason. But if you bring it straight, just pray it doesn't cut. That's all. There's not really any reason for spinning around the neck apart from making the wires clean. Okay, so these are our first segment. This is our A1. This is our A1. So we'll put our wire here. We'll strip the wire, remove the insulation. We'll now spin it over here. Remember, you've already opened your segment already. Then you'll now take it straight to the first. Remember, you see, I came here to the first slot because this is my main slot. Then now my pitch is 1 to 6. This is my number 1, where the wire is my number 1. The number 6 will be where the wire will end. There will be 4 empty slots in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you come here and you spin your coil. This is our 6th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the 6th one. Come here and you spin here. Then you spin your maybe 100 turns. Start spinning 100 turns. You will not end your connection at, we will call this A2. A2 meaning that this is the second segment for A. A2, and congratulations, you finished your first winding. For anti-clockwise, now look at the size of the coil. Does it not resemble anti-clockwise? Yeah, look at the shape. It resembles anti-clockwise, right? All we did was count to the 7th one and rewind backwards to this one over here. If it's forward, you tap on this one, which is 6th one, and rewind to the 7th one. Alright. So remember that we are doing H winding. So immediately you are done with this one. Now that you've chosen your first segment, now you're going to choose half of this segment. That's where you start your second wire from, the half of it. You are splitting the coil into 2. So therefore, if this is the first one, you count it 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter if you count backward or forward, you still end with the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the first half, which means this is starting with the second half. If you count it backward, it will still end here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is still end here. 7. The 7th one is it. Yeah. This is what you chose. So this is our B1. B1 means this is where our second chord will start from. B1. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is half of the chord. This is the middle of the chord. The middle. I divide the coil into 2 right now. So I took another coil, a separate coil, and I spin it over here. So my question is now, if this is the starting of the second coil, where will be the starting of each slot? Remember, we always choose the first slot first before we want to choose the segment. But now we've chosen segment. Now where would the slot be? Where would the slot be? Well, in case you are confused, you can just come here and count. Okay, this one started from here. Where is the slot? The slot is like it started from here, so the slot is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like that, you still count the 7 slots too. So this one is here like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Yeah, the same thing. 7. So it is here. This is where its slot is. This is where its slot is. So therefore, you will take your. So let's call this B1. Because this is where B1. This is where B1 is. This is where B1 is. B1 is here. So therefore you take your wire from here, like this, take your wire from here, then you will now take your connection. So because of my diagram, is in 2D, it's going around the coil, the wire is going around the coil, but we're using a line to represent it. So come outside from here, then enter into this place, then you will now count your 6 backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's our pitch. We draw the pitch, and remember we are doing backwards winding, so to end here and not here. If here that's forward winding, but it's ending here, backwards winding. So this is our what? This is our B2. That's our B2. It looks nice, right? So now we're done with our B2. We'll now go back to the A1 again. You want to go back to the A1 again, or you can go to the B2, whatever your choice. Okay, let's start from B2. Let's start from B2 instead, but most of the time I go. So B2. So if your connection is in B2, where will it enter next? Which slot will be his next slot? So it's very simple. If this is your B1, this one will be your B2, but this one is also the same with this one over here. They are the same slots. It's just that this hole extends to this place here. So I'm going to put it here instead. I don't want to put it here. It's confusing. So this will be our B2 because this is our B1. This is our B2. So just take your wire, continue it from here. After you've connected it to this place very properly, you strip the insulation off. Then you will now spin it maybe 2 times. I spin 2 times on top here. You now take your connection, you take it forward again to the next. This is B2 over here like this, B2 over here like this, and you count your pitch backward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As you see, the pitch will now come to where A1 is. So the end of the pitch entry A1 slot. And then you now connect it to B3. So B3. So as you see, I went backwards. Now we've succeeded in giving. So now